Valentine's Day, the perfect day for couples to be together. But I couldn't see my boyfriend. He was stuck in the lab at school, rushing to finish his dissertation. Not wanting to waste the day, I closed up my shop and turned on my Uber app to earn some extra cash. I pulled up to the curb and two guys and a girl climbed in. A shy voice came from the back seat. Liam, are you sure you don't have a girlfriend? The guy in the passenger seat jumped in. He's definitely single. On this boring, snowy night, I couldn't help but listen in. Then, a voice I knew all too well spoke up. Why are you suddenly asking that? My heart skipped a beat. I glanced in the rearview mirror in horror. Sitting right there in the middle of the back seat was my boyfriend Liam. While I was out here working my ass off for our future, he was celebrating Valentine's Day with another woman. The girl, Emily, giggled. Oh, I just heard you had a girlfriend, someone a few years older than you? My hands tightened on the steering wheel. I waited, hoping he'd finally introduce me to his friends. The guy in the front seat scoffed. That's just his old neighbor, not his girlfriend. Why would Liam, who's on track to be a professor here, ever date some woman who didn't even go to college? Screech! I slammed on the brakes as the light turned red. The guy in the passenger seat yelled, Hey, what the hell is your problem? Do you even know how to drive? I'll report you. I wanted so badly to rip off my hat, turn around, and throw it in Liam's face, but I couldn't. This car belonged to Mike, the owner of the auto body shop. I was using his account, and if Uber found out I wasn't him, they'd ban him for life. I couldn't cause him that kind of trouble. As the light turned green and I pressed the gas, I risked another look in the mirror. Emily was leaning in close to Liam, her perfectly curled blonde hair bouncing as she laughed. The city lights flashed across Liam's handsome face. He was looking down at her with a tenderness I hadn't seen in years, like she was some kind of treasure. They really did look like a couple in love. I pulled my cheap black puffer jacket tighter around me and tugged my baseball cap lower, trying to hide my greasy, unwashed hair. Whatever. I'd deal with this at home. The car continued along the Charles River. Liam, try this. I just bought it. Emily held a delicate cupcake up to his lips. The sickly sweet vanilla scent filled the small car. My stomach churned. I'd been working for 10 hours straight without a single bite to eat. Grrr, rumble. My stomach betrayed me with a growl so loud it was impossible to ignore. The guy in the passenger seat burst out laughing, tears welling in his eyes. Mortified, I grabbed the hard, dry granola bar from my console and took a huge bite, washing it down with cold water to stop the burning hunger in my gut. But the love fest in the back seat continued. Emily handed Liam a latte. As I chewed on the sawdust-like bar, the rich smell of coffee and cream filled my nose. I felt a bitter mix of shame and sadness. We finally arrived at the graduate student dorms. As they were getting out, Emily asked playfully, Liam, can you be my pretend boyfriend just for tonight? My knuckles turned white as I gripped the steering wheel, waiting for his answer. The car door slammed shut. I never heard what he said. Panic washed over me. I unbuckled my seatbelt, ready to jump out, but I'd forgotten to put the car in park. It rolled forward, and I had to slam on the brake again. In that chaotic moment, my phone rang. It was Mike. Chloe, time to bring the car back. I've got a date tonight. Okay, Mike, on my way. By the time I hung up and looked back at the dorm entrance, Liam was gone. I slammed my fist on the steering wheel in frustration. Thinking about him with her, I felt like a complete joke. I paid his tuition, bought his food, and took care of his every need, and he couldn't even admit to his friends that I was his girlfriend. On the way back to our apartment, I called Liam over and over, but he rejected every call. A moment later, a cold text message appeared. In the lab. Can't talk. I'll call you back later. I texted asking where he was. No reply. I tried a video call. He rejected it instantly. Back in our tiny apartment, I stared at my reflection in the bathroom mirror. I saw a woman with a pale, sallow face and dark circles under her eyes. I thought of the beautiful, vibrant Emily. I imagined them together tonight, calling each other boyfriend and girlfriend, and a wave of nausea hit me. I grabbed my exfoliating face wash and scrubbed my skin until it was red and stinging. Why did this have to happen when I was at my absolute worst? The face in the mirror reminded me of how things used to be. Liam and I both came from the same rundown little town in Ohio. We basically grew up together. He was handsome and brilliant, the pride of our shitty public high school. He got a scholarship to a prestigious university here in Boston, while I couldn't